What a beautiful people. It is your home Miss Shameless all up in your building, and she is going to beat this face. Get ready with me, chit chat. Yes, I like these sessions because we get to do some of this. I get to catch you up to speed on things that I'm going through and what I'm dealing with. And it was Independence Day here in the US, and it was Canada Day in Canada, and I just had VidCon. And by the time you see this video, I would have just came back from New Orleans for Essence Fest. So I'm gonna get into this face look. I've already primed my face with this Smashbox. Let me get my eyes. Let's talk about independence, you guys. Independence, and I'll use my life as an example. I'm a very independent woman. I get that from my mom. She's an independent woman. She was raised by two parents. Then she met my dad, had me and my brother, raised us by herself, and rubbed that off on me and my brother. I'm using this Tartelette palette, Free Spirit. I'm a free spirit. I found my independence by learning how to do things for myself and not having the help or the resources there around me, and just working with what I had. An example, my YouTube channel. Turned to YouTube because I couldn't even book enough work as an actor or a photographer to pay my bills. I think the last year when I was acting, I made $13,000 for the year. $13,000, and I was paying rent. So I don't even know how I did that. I had a bunch of credit with YouTube. I turned to YouTube, right? I turned to YouTube because I was like, girl, at this time I was working as a cocktail waitress. I was paying my bills, everything. I actually had $10,000 saved, let alone getting paid $13,000 for the year. But I learned how to save 10% of everything I earned, and I put it away. Okay, now I'm using Dreamer. Same palette. But I wasn't acting as much. I was doing some voiceover work, and my friend was like, go on YouTube. Start YouTube. You can act, you can technically film this stuff because you're a photographer and you understand. Do it. So I did it. I didn't need someone to tell me, no, you don't have this part. And as an actor, the rejection is insane. Maybe not for everyone, but for my friends in my circle that do acting, like the amount of no's you're told in a year is insane, like hundreds. So YouTube was like a way for me to just create and not have to depend on someone giving me a job. It really is a tripod, a light, and a camera. So that's what I did. I started to become super busy, and I was like, how can I maintain my channel? So fast forward, by the time I got here to LA, my friend Shannon was like, girl, you need help. Let me help you get help. So she helped me hire my first employee. And that was my executive assistant, fancy title, who helped me with getting what was in my head out and accomplished. I went through a list of things that needed to be done, but the first one was hiring staff, like an editor. The editor was like the biggest thing because I was spending 30 plus hours editing. So we hired editors that could take the 30 hours I was spending on editing. It was basically taking all the work that I was doing and delegating it to different people. And as a result, I now have like 5 staff, which is insane. How do you talk and put makeup on at the same time? I have this. I wanted to try it out. Let me try this first. Okay. Cover effects. I've been meaning to try these rose gold droppers. I saw Patrick using it, and it really scares me because I'm like, what am I going to look like, a copper statue? So now I had staff that were basically doing what I was doing. Editing, tweeting, Facebooking, emails, communicating with my agent, my manager, all kinds of things. I depend on my staff, for sure. I really do depend on them. However, I spent 4 years doing this by myself. So, if everything were to crash and burn, I hope it doesn't, I would be okay. I wouldn't be on the streets. I'd be good. So I feel that I was able to find my independence and a healthy independence because I was doing it by myself, and now I'm in a healthy, dependent relationship with my business, my staff, because I know what everyone is doing. I know their job. I can do it, maybe not as good, but I can do it. Independence for me was being able to do for myself and knowing that I could do for myself first. I'm using this cover up by NYX Total Control. I'm kind of obsessed. Like, for the price and for the coverage, I ain't mad. I've never done this before. Okay, I've seen everyone use this, but I haven't done it. Huh. You know, it's splashy everywhere. Okay, I ain't feeling that. It's on my clothes. So, yeah. I will say that for someone who's into tech, I'm not really into like gadgets and stuff. I just like easy. What can I do to beat my face and get out of this place fast? I mean, it feels cool. Wow. I feel like my face has been rubbed. Yo, that thing really, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I should have read the instructions on how to use this. But I don't like the mess it made. It looks like everywhere. So my advice to you guys is to figure it out. Start from where you are, and you will be handed more. A lot of people think they need everything in the world to get started. And if that's the case, if you can't start from where you are, then you are not where you need to be. You should technically be able to start with the tools you have, with the passion that you have inside of you. If you have passion, you'll figure out a way. And in terms of relationships, I have been single for 4 years. 4 years. When I got out of my past relationship, it was toxic. It made me realize I had so much personal work to do. Because I could sit here and be like, he did this to me, he did that to me, woe is me. But it's just like, I'm a part of that problem. If it is in fact a problem, if you are in a relationship where things are not where they need to be, you got to look at yourself. Because the other thing I realized is taking responsibility and ownership to the problem that you played a role in. I was in that relationship. I chose to stay. But what can I learn from this? And so that's why I took 4 years off to really reprogram my thinking, what I'm into, what I'm attracted to, because clearly I was attracted to something about that. And I wanted to make sure that I dealt with that. So in my future relationship, future marriage, I would not be attracting that. I found my independence once again because, relationships, man, where does your backbone go? When you're in one of those freaking abusive relationships, like it's just like, or toxic, I should say, where does your freaking backbone go? Like, and why stay with someone if life is so extra? Like, my life is stressful as it is. I would like to have a healthy relationship. And now that I'm in a relationship, we do have problems. We do have disagreements. We have arguments, but not like that. Like, I'm not like, I used to scream. I used to break shit. I don't do that. That life is so long gone. And thank God my boyfriend is not that. Like, he does not yell. If anything, he tells me to shut up because I yell. Okay, I'm using the Makeup Forever HD. This powder is so fine, yo. It gets everywhere. But in the 4 years that I was single, I was working on me. I was paying my own rent, paying my bills for my car, my staff, everything. I was taking care of me. So then when, Mr. Cutie came by, I was a little bit more confident and sure of myself and able to also look at him critically and be like, what are you going to bring to the table? Does he make a good father? Does he make a good husband? These are all things that I think of at my age. I think this is drying out. My favorite eyeliner. Okay, got another one. The NYX liquid liner is bomb.com. Woo! Now, to get them to be symmetrical is the trick. But yeah, relationships, independence, compatibility. I think a healthy way to go into a relationship is, are we compatible? How can we help each other? Versus what do we have in common in terms of interest? Shablam, pat Oh! Let me try this. Oh, look at that. Just look at that. Just take all that in. I can say now, that I've been single and now that I've been in a relationship for a hot minute. I mean, it's a hot minute for me. I mean, it's more than one date. Damn. Because usually I could tell in 1 or 2 dates, usually one date, if this is going to go anywhere. Okay, I have a question for you guys. Do you think depending on one another is a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Why or why not? My first instinct is to say it's a bad thing, but that's coming from an independent woman. So I'd like to know from someone who is in a relationship where they depend on someone for something, because I guess there's different perspectives. Because back in the day, I feel like marriage was out of necessity more than it was out of anything else. Like financially, does this make sense? Family-wise, does this make sense? And then, feelings are mother effing last. What's love got to do with it? For someone who's very independent, I found myself getting so lost in my relationship. I wanted to just be there, help, be supportive. But then I had to fall back and I'm like, girl, stop doing this. Because one, it's not right. It's not healthy. Don't try to control people. And even helping people it can be control. What is Tarte? I'm using a combination of this Tarte thing and this Caitlyn Jenner. Makeup to me is all about blending, trick, blend all these different types of products together. You know what I will say? This is bomb. I don't know why I didn't use it sooner. I think it just intimidated me because I'm like, pearls, rose gold pearls on my face. You guys let me know too in the comments below. But I think as individuals, it's important to respect and support one another. There just becomes a line where it's like you spend so much energy investing into this other person to the point where either A, they may become dependent on you. So if you don't do that, now what? You've made them codependent. Or B, what are you doing with your own life? You're pushing this person to get to their excellence and you doing what now? Shit. This look is almost done, guys. It's such a tricky thing. Dependence, independence. Who do I depend on? I do depend on people. But if it didn't work out, I would be okay. My life wouldn't be a sham. And I also think I am like this because I have so much faith in God. And because I have so much faith in God, in turn I have faith in myself because I know that I, Maya Washington, am the daughter of a god. So that's a very heavy winged look. Let me go in with this. I love this look for summer. I'm all about the bottom liner. Oh, yes. So my tip for you to find your independence is to work with what you got. If you don't have the answers, type it in Google. Figure that ish out. But take ownership and responsibility for yourself. Own it. Own it. Don't blame other people for why you can't get ahead in life. Just take control of what you have and run with it. All the people who so-called made it to the top, I guarantee you, it wasn't as easy as they made it look. Because I used to, I still do to this day. I'm like, why the fuck is it so easy for them? Why do I have to freaking work so much harder? Why does things have to blow up in my face and not in theirs? Why didn't I come from money? Why? Shut up. Okay, let's get these lashes on, shall we? These bad boys are on. They on. Okay. Using this Makeup Forever bronzer. Why not? Self-love, confidence, independence, all of it is out of the same place. Like when you are independent, you're confident. When you can love yourself, you're confident. This one is Aries. I really like this too. If you know yourself well enough, you'll be able to gauge what you need help with, where you can depend on people, where you can stand on your own 2 feet. When you're in a relationship or about to get into one, you'll be able to take your head with you because you know yourself, you know what you need, you know what you don't need. So you'll be able to call bullshit quicker. Now I gotta situate this hair. I think it's like relaxed from here down. I wanna cut it out. Hence why I have braids and straightness, because the curls are... Now I can say I'm transitioning. I'm transitioning, guys. I've never transitioned before. I'm transitioning. I've been using dry shampoo for it, so I got a bunch. I have Rock On, BTZ. In Canada, we say Z. So it's always weird when I go back home and I say Z. They're like, oh, please. Oh, please, you think you're American. So I'm going to give you a look. She's going to turn a look, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going for the look. She just put a flat iron through it. Not too much because I don't want to get heat damage. Using the main choice. Especially here on the ends because my scalp is oily. Yay or nay? Independence. Fierce. Fabulous. Strong. Self-love. Anyways, make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel. I am almost at 1 million subscribers. Woo! Turn the notifications on so you know when I upload a video. I upload Tuesday evenings. However, it is the summertime and I'm on the road a lot. So turn those notifications on. And remember to do you, be you, and stay true, boo. Shameless.